Did you know the key to vibrant health and sustainable living is closer than you think? Welcome to the Nassau Health Food Store Organic Living Podcast, your weekly guide to Amelia Island's best-kept organic living secret. Brought to you by Nassau Health Food Store by Steve Adams. This podcast is here to help you discover farm-fresh produce, holistic wellness tips, and practical ways to live a healthier, more natural life. All right, here on beautiful Amelia Island, whether you're a longtime local or new to the island, we are here to inspire you to embrace organic living. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of Amelia Island's Organic Living Secrets. And if you're ready to experience the organic difference, visit us at Nassau Health Food Store in Amelia Island. Your body and the planet will thank you.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for having me again on the show. Thanks for listening in. My name is Dr. Daniel Kessler, and I am a family medicine physician, Mayo Clinic trained, and I also used to work at the National Center for Environmental Health at the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia. And today we're going to talk about how you can start living toxin-free without having to turn your life upside down. Now, I want to be real with you right off the top. If you have been Googling or using AI to look at toxins in my home or are plastics making me sick, you've probably come across some pretty terrifying stuff. I totally get it. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of people selling you things because you're afraid. But this is not what we're going to do today here. Today, I'm going to give you 5 real, practical, evidence-based things you can start doing this week, some of them even today, to genuinely lower your everyday toxin exposure. No overhaul, no spending hundreds of dollars, no guilt, just some really smart moves from someone who spent years studying this stuff. Does that sound good? All right, so let's all jump in. Step number 1, get yourself a solid water filter. Now, I did mention this before, but I want to re-emphasize that I'm starting here because if you do only one thing after listening to this episode, this should be it. Your drinking water is something you interact with every single day, multiple times a day. And the truth is, even treated municipal water can contain trace amounts of things that we would rather not be drinking. Things like the forever chemicals I mentioned before, and yes, I know you've been hearing about them, as well as microplastics and sometimes even low levels of heavy metals depending on your pipes. Now, I'm not necessarily saying your tap water is dangerous, but you can actually go to the Environmental Working Agency and you can actually look by zip code what your quality of water is. And don't be scared, but it's not pretty. In addition, once you have done that and you know the type of water quality you have, you can also, of course, get your water tested. But then you can also purchase a filter, and the filter you want to purchase needs to be NSF-certified. This is a third-party certification that means the filter has actually been tested and proven to reduce very specific contaminants. A solid countertop filter or an undersink system with a carbon block or reverse osmosis setup will cover a lot of ground. We're talking here the forever chemicals, lead, chlorine, byproducts, microplastics. One investment handles multiple concerns. And here is also a little bonus tip. If you don't have a filter yet, you can always just run your cold tap water for about 10 to 30 seconds to a minute before filling your glass, especially first thing in the morning. Water that has been sitting in your pipes overnight can pick up more metals from the plumbing. That quick flush costs you nothing and helps immediately. But if possible, I usually do not recommend for my patients to consume tap water, just FYI. Now, step number 2, break up with plastic in your kitchen. Now, I know plastic is everywhere, and I'm not going to tell you to go throw out every plastic thing in your house this afternoon. That's not realistic. And honestly, it's not necessary. But here's what I do want you to think about. Heat and plastic do not mix. When you microwave food in a plastic container, or if you were to put hot soup in a plastic bowl, the heat can break down the plastic at a very molecular level, and tiny particles, microplastics, along with chemicals used to make the plastic flexible, can leach right into your food. And that is not a scare tactic, that's just chemistry and reality. So the swap is very simple. Next time you're reheating leftovers, put them onto a plate or put them into a glass dish. If you are buying food storage containers, grab a set of glass ones. They last forever, they don't stain, and honestly, they're also easier to clean. Why don't you swap your plastic water bottle for a stainless steel one? These are not very expensive changes. A set of glass containers might run you $15–20 bucks, and you have them for years. Now, one more thing while we're in the kitchen. Your old scratched up nonstick pan, that nonstick coating often contains the forever chemicals. Now, when it is scratched and flaking, those chemicals are going straight into your food. When it's time to replace it, you can go with a cast iron, stainless steel, or even with a ceramic coated pan. You don't have to do it all at once. Just the next time one wears out, why don't you go ahead and make the switch? Step number 3, let your house breathe. This one actually surprises people, but indoor air quality is a huge deal. The EPA, the Environmental Protective Agency, has actually found that the air inside our homes can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than the air outside. And we spend most of our time indoors, especially in the winter. A lot of what builds up in indoor air actually comes from everyday stuff: cleaning products, air fresheners, scented candles, mold spores, dust that carries flame retardants and other chemicals. It accumulates because our homes are sealed up tight for energy efficiency, which is great for your electric bill, but it's not always great for air quality. So here's what you can do. First, open your windows when you can. I was actually born in Germany. I'm actually also an American citizen, but in Germany, people open their windows all the time, and yes, including in the winter. The German term is lüften. So lüften, lift your window, open your window and lift your house. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day makes a huge difference. Get that cross ventilation going and let fresh air cycle through. Secondly, you can run your bathroom exhaust fan during and after showers, not just for the steam, but because that moisture is what mold needs to get a foothold. Remember, previously we talked about mold. If you've got an exhaust fan in your kitchen, you can also use that when you're cooking, especially on the stovetop. And here's a freebie. Take a look at your cleaning products under your sink. If you are seeing a lot of fragrances, a lot of harsh chemicals, consider switching to simpler options. White vinegar and baking soda handle more household cleaning than you would think. For the rest, you can look for products that disclose their full ingredient list. If in your town or in your city you have a natural store that sells these items, you can always go by there and see what the offers are, and then you can look at the ingredient list. You would be surprised how many conventional cleaners are actually not that healthy. Step number 4, you want to eat smarter, not harder. Now, today I'm not about to give you here a strict diet plan or tell you to only buy organic everything. For a lot of families, that's not always in the budget, and I totally respect that, even though it doesn't always mean it needs to be more expensive. But there are some really, really easy food-related strategies that do lower your toxin exposure without requiring a lifestyle revolution. Step number 1, wash your produce. Now, I know this sounds basic, but a good rinse under running water, and I mean rubbing the surface, not just a quick splash, removes a significant amount of pesticide residue. You don't need any fancy veggie wash sprays. Water and friction does the job. Now, there are some people, of course, that do wash the vegetables with vinegar, and that actually is also a wonderful and very important way that you can clean your vegetables. Number 2, if you want to be strategic about when to buy organic, you can always look up the so-called Dirty Dozen list. The Dirty Dozen list comes out every year, It tells you which fruits, which vegetables tend to carry the most pesticide residue. Things like strawberries, spinach, and apples are usually on there. Now, if you can swing organic for those specific items, that's great. If not, don't stress. The health benefits of eating fruits and vegetables far outweigh the risk from trace pesticides. I'd rather you eat conventional blueberries than no blueberries. But another reason why you want to wash your fruits, if you were to, for example, look at the apples and you wash it off, oftentimes there's a film that comes off, and it is actually that many of these fruits are sprayed to make sure that they last longer on the shelf, they have a higher shelf life, longer shelf life, and oftentimes these toxins, when they are washed off, it can really make a difference for your health. Now, what about number 3? Vary your fish intake. Now, fish is fantastic for you. It's a great source of protein, great omega-3 fats. But large predatory fish, like swordfish, shark, king mackerel, tuna, tend to accumulate more mercury. And because we do tend to eat a lot of fish, we do end up absorbing these metals within our system. So mix it up. Salmon, sardines, tilapia, shrimp, for those of you that are not allergic to it, cod, herring, for example, those are all wonderful. Those are all lower mercury options that are excellent for you. If you're pregnant or of course you have young kids, this one actually matters more, so be very mindful of your choices. And step number 5 I want to share with you is please build a relationship with your doctor around this, or with a doctor who takes your health serious, just like you take your health serious. This is actually very important because it ties everything together, and this is the one I feel most strongly about as a physician. Now, your doctor should be somebody you can talk to about this stuff. Environmental health is not just for toxicologists or epidemiologists, it's actually family medicine. It's preventive care. If you're wondering whether your home, your water, your workplace, or your symptoms might be connected to a possible environmental exposure, why don't you bring it up at your next appointment? There are straightforward tests we can run. A simple blood draw can check your lead and mercury levels. We can also look at your thyroid function, which can be affected by certain chemical exposures. We can measure hormones. A lot of these chemicals are so-called hormone disruptors. And perhaps the reason for your hormones being imbalanced may not just be the reason that you're aging, there could be environmental reasons also. If you're having symptoms you can't explain, persistent fatigue, brain fog, headaches, skin issues, breathing problems, asthma, allergies, for example, an environmental exposure might be worth exploring. It doesn't mean it's always the answer, but it should be the part of the conversation you're having. And for parents, pediatricians screen for lead at ages 1 and 2, which is great. But if your child is older and you recently moved into an older home, or if you have any concerns at all, ask for the test. It's a quick blood draw and can give you peace of mind. So being proactive with your healthcare provider is not just being paranoid, it is being smart, and any good doctor will always welcome that conversation. Now, that was a lot of information, but let's bring it home. 5 steps. As a summary, let me run through them one more time really quick. 1. Get a quality water filter. It's the single best bang for your buck. 2. Stop heating food in plastic and start swapping in glass and stainless steel. 3. Let your house breathe. Open windows. Remember the German word lüften. Use exhaust fans. Simplify your cleaning products. Number 4. Eat smart. Wash your produce. Be strategic about organic food. Vary your fish intake. And 5. Talk to your doctor. Use them as a resource. That's what we're here for. You see, none of this requires you to turn your life upside down. None of it requires you to be afraid. It's just about being a little bit more intentional, a bit more informed, and making small changes that add up over time. This is how real health improvement works. Not with one dramatic overhaul, but with 100 small smart choices. I've seen it work in many of my patients, and I know this can work for you. So thank you so much for spending time with me. in this podcast. If this was very helpful, share it with someone you care about. And of course, if you ever want to go deeper on any of these topics, check out our longer episodes where we talk more about PFAS, forever chemicals, microplastics, mold, heavy metals in detail. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. I'm Dr. Daniel Kessler, and I'll see you on our next podcast.
Before we wrap up, I want to talk to you about something important. Have you ever stood in the grocery aisle overwhelmed by choices, wondering which products are truly good for you and the planet? In today's world, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find food that's not only nutritious, but also ethically sourced and environmentally friendly. Many of us want to make healthier choices, but the sheer amount of conflicting information out there can be paralyzing. Every day you delay making the switch to organic, you're potentially exposing yourself and your loved ones to harmful pesticides and GMOs. Not to mention you're missing out on the superior taste and nutritional benefits of organic produce. The longer we collectively hesitate, the more damage is done to our health and our planet. That place is Nassau Health Food Store. We've done the hard work for you, curating the best organic and natural products so you don't have to second-guess your choices. From farm fresh produce to pantry staples, from supplements to natural beauty products, we've got everything you need to live your healthiest, most natural life. Visit us today and experience the peace of mind that comes with shopping at Nassau Health Food Store at Amelia Island. Your body, your taste buds, and the planet will thank you. We're located at 833 TJ Corson Road, Fernandina Beach, Florida 32034, United States. We're open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Can't make it to the store? Check out our online shop at www.nassauhealthfood.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Nassau Health Food Store podcast. Until next time, eat well, live naturally, and stay healthy.